Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Hiya and Beast here on Fighting Spirit. I know it doesn't say Hiya versus Beast up here, but they're playing under their Smurf names. Top right-hand corner is the orange Terran player. It is Hiya. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the teal Zerg player, Beast. So Beast got back from his military service. He is a Korean player in early 2015, and by mid-2017, he had returned and achieved the #1 rank on the Korean StarCraft Remastered ladder soon after its closed release. So, Beast is an incredible Zerg player. Hiya is an incredible Terran player. He has a long list of accomplishments on Wikipedia. And let's see who comes out on top here. 400 APM from Beast, 250 from Hiya. Both players are spamming, but Hiya is spamming less than Beast here. So, 4-player map is Fighting Spirit. You're very, very familiar with it, I am entirely sure. Hit that like button if you're excited for this TVZ. Just kind of helps me get visibility with the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. And let's see how Beast is going to open here. Overlord could be an overpool. Just spent a couple hours playing StarCraft Remastered with some family of mine, and it was a lot of fun. We did fastest map, we did big game hunters, and let me tell you what, fully upgraded ultras versus 0 upgraded zealots is not a fair fight. That's what I learned today playing StarCraft Remastered. Alright, so a 12 hatch, no real surprise there. Probably into, I want to say, a 12 pool, maybe an extractor. This is a big map, and he still hasn't found where Hiya is, so aggression, I don't know, not part of the plan. Yeah, there we go, 12 pool into what's likely going to be an extractor here, although you can open without gas. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you're not going to be able to defend it very well with speedlings anyway. You're not going to get it out fast if it's a super fast attack. Sunkens are going to help more in that regard anyway. But it sure seems like a 1-racks into an opening expansion here for Hiya too. So, yeah, he's saving up those minerals for that command center. Drone scouting about. I do love to see the drone scout here. The SCV scout doing a better job of it just because it ended up getting lucky with where the Terran player was. And so far, so good as far as what looks like going to be a fairly macro-style game. There's the expansion at under 3 minutes for the Terran player. Fairly standard timing. And yeah, nothing much is going to happen here in the early stages of the game. The drone does manage to scout where the Terran player is. Again, there's already a Marine here, so further scouting is impossible. Tragically. But at this stage, there's really not much that Hiya can do to kill Beast, and not really much Beast can do to kill Hiya. I do love throwing up the macro hatch at the top of the ramp here. He's doing a bit of a Maynard transfer down to his natural base, just for somewhat even saturation between his main and his natural. No, that's not Maynard, the current Australian StarCraft 2 caster. That's a different Maynard from like 1999-2000. When I first learned about him, back when I was a freshman in college playing Brood War, I thought I was hot stuff because I could beat all of my neighborhood friends in StarCraft, and then ran up against a kid on my same floor in my dorm my freshman year who kicked my butt and actually taught me, you know, legitimate strategies and build orders and things on how to play StarCraft. My strategy when I first started playing, funnily enough, was I would just make 1,000,000 hatcheries. I was like, you know what's good for Zerg is 1,000,000 hatcheries. That's how you win. So I would just expand like 6 times and really not make anything, and nobody really knew how to punish me in my neighborhood back home. This guy did. He would just send little hit squads to take down every one of my hatcheries when I tried to expand, and I was like, hey, that's not fair. You're supposed to leave my hatcheries alone. And then he's like, look, man, you can't expand that fast and compete against anybody who knows what they're doing in StarCraft. And I was like, aw, fair enough. And back then, the ladder was just full of hackers. It would be, you know, the top person on the ladder would have 999,000 wins and 0 losses. And second and third and fourth place would be the same thing. And it was just like, there's rampant hacking going on here, I can tell on some level. Is this SCV still alive? How are you not dead yet? Be dead. And he dead. Behold, wish fulfilled. Terran player working on additional barracks. Probably going to get an academy up. Oh, hold on. It's up here. It's hiding. It's hiding. And there's your stem. So there's going to be a fairly standard bio push here. 3 Sunkens will help immensely against that. Zerglings trying to see, is the push coming yet? When do I have to make my Sunkens? That's what these Zerglings are all about, is the follow-up scout after the drone didn't do a good job. So here we go, pushing. Ooh, this is going to be a stem Marine push without medic support. So that early warning system is good. At this point, there you go. Sunken on the way. Probably at least get one more in there. Again, if they don't have medic support, I don't know if you need the 3. 2 might be enough if they're not getting healed, but there we go. Medics are here. So now 3 Sunkens, 100 billion%. Let's do this thing. The Lings are trying to delay as long as they can, but not working out super well. They're making a beeline. The Marines are ready to go. There's the 3rd creep. Sunken 1 done. Sunken 2 needs to start now. There we go. And Sunken 3 is going to be late. So the Lings are going to have to get in here and maybe attack behind while the Sunkens are doing some damage up front. But this is a very small window where there's only 1 Sunken, and killing it will be nice. Zerglings here. Zerglings coming from the backside too. 2 Sunkens are attacking, kind of splitting their attention. Couple drones fighting as well. Oh, they do have to fight because the Sunkens aren't going to be enough. That 3rd Sunken was late. As a result, several drones are going to die. But the attack is held as a result. Do not be afraid to sacrifice some of your drones to stay alive. Sacrificing 3 or 4 or 5 drones is better than dying, even though it does hurt your economy, and even though a beast was down to 20 drones there for a second at 6 minutes, which is not where you want to be in a macro-style TVZ. He is, however, replacing them fairly well. He's already back up to 23. He's making some overlords. He doesn't get supply blocked. But at this point, I'd say Hiya's ahead and got some damage done, killed some drones, killed a bunch of Zerglings, killed a Sunken, and there's really not much that the Zerg player can do to punish him or pressure him at this stage. He is making some Mutalisks, but as we know, Terrans understand the timings on Mutalisk attacks almost as well as they know. Well, you know what? It's going to be late. That engineering bay is just now finishing. He needs to start his missile turrets now. Like right now. Like right. It's 10 seconds ago now. Oh. Ling run by. They have only one thing in mind, and that is making sure these turrets don't come up. 1 turret killed. That's huge. Marine count getting whittled down as much as he can too is priority number 2. And then maybe killing some SCVs if at all possible. So the Mutas are on their way. And the Marines have to stay in here and play base defense. Is it going to be enough? Where are my Mutalisks? The Mutalisks are here. Going into the natural base seems like your best bet. There is no anti-air there whatsoever. The main is fairly well covered by the army of Hiya. The natural base is really exposed. Missile turrets are on the way, but they're not done yet. One's almost done. Several more on the way here. And the Muta stack is... Oh, hang on. Marines responded. Turret came up. Mutaflock a little bit bigger than you normally see with 7. Taking some hits. In Hiya, man, he was late on that engineering bay, but didn't seem to hurt him all that much. So I'd say he's in a great position in this TVZ. He's up in army supply. He's up in worker count. These Mutas don't really have any purchase. There's nowhere for them to go. It might be over making missile turrets, but again, these are more Mutas than you normally see. Beast is committing to more of a Mutalisk attack than standard. And as a result, you make more missile turrets than standard. You make more Marines than standard. Zerg player does not have a 3rd, which is a humongous problem for him. I mean, the Mutaflock is nice, but they really can't stand up to consistent missile turret fire or Marine fire with those Gauss rifles. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of whittle down the the Marine count a little bit, but there needs to be a 3rd base from Beast. He's going for a Lurker aspect. I'm not sure he can afford to wait for Lurker aspect to finish before he moves out and takes a 3rd. He's trying to sneak one. Nope, he's not. He's getting 4 Sunkens at his front. He knows if this Marine ball pushes, he doesn't have the army to stop it. These Mutas will die instantly to all of these Marines with medic support, with stim. Working on +1 attack. It's not quite there yet, but it will be soon. And having 4 Sunkens... Oh, is it going to be enough here? The Lings are going to be necessary. The Mutas, I feel like, are going to be necessary. This is a really aggressive attack by Hiya, but it's working. I think it's going to work out for him here. The Lings are ready to jump on top of this. And again, not without your 2nd group of Marines. You don't want to go in there. Nice stim in. Good hits. Good hits on some of this 10 Mutalisk group. Overlord down hurts. Does supply block Beast. Beast is in a terrible, terrible way right now. Again, the macro hatch is nice. He's got a Hydralisk Den. He's got a Lurker aspect coming in, but it's a fairly long upgrade. He might be able to buy enough time with these Lings and these Mutas to get some Lurkers out. So that group of Marines is dead. These guys, oh, they gambled. They gambled on shutting down a 3rd base. Oh, hang on. Oh, there was a drone down here. Ha! All right, well, they shut down the 3rd base, sort of, at the expense of half their army, so... I don't know. I kind of feel like if they were together and they pushed, they might have got some stuff done, but 4 Sunkens is fairly intimidating. That is some really good anti-ground static defense. Is he seriously going for a hive? He's going for a hive. Evolution chambers, what are you doing? And the other half of the army is going to die to these Mutas. 4 of them died to make this thing happen, but they won in the end. and the third base can come up. But it's 64 to 55 total supply here. 42 to 28 on the worker count in favor of our Terran player, Hiya. He's looking good. Is that another Greater Spire? What is with all the Guardian play on the channel recently? I swear, Guardians are not used that much, but these games I've been casting over the last 3 or 4 weeks, there have been so many Guardians. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Who did Guardian play on the channel the other day? I'm trying to remember what that game was. There was definitely the epic game between Rudy and Cool that featured Guardian play. That was incredible. So that's one example at least. But now look, Lurkers are out. This bio group doesn't want anything to do with Lurkers for sure, especially if Dark Swarm's coming in and Defiler Mounds is almost done too. So the third base is incredibly late for Beast. However, he's doing all right. He's staying alive. He's got the Lurkers. He's maybe going to try to push into the natural base here, but look who's away from home. Whoa. This is a pretty darn scary push out of Hiya. He's got +1 attack for his bio. He's not working on any attack upgrades for his tanks. Ling, Lurker, run by, and go. Trying to get, inside this mineral line and away from the missile turrets. Nice scan, but killing that tank would be a nice priority for you. Oh, single Lurker remaining to, nice. Oh, secondary scan comes in. The Lurkers are down. The Mutalisk are trying to take shots, but the turrets are too much. Too much, if I do say so myself. And so the push was aborted from Hiya, but he is ready to rock now. Thank you for asking. But that might have actually bought some time. His kill zone sunken to get out. That's annoying. Might have bought some time for these Defilers to come. Consume is going to be done before the Defilers pop. Well, I guess this one's already popped. Consume needs to finish, like, right now. All those Lurkers died instantly, didn't they? Where's the Defiler? Is he hiding? He's here. He's ready to cast something. There's your Consume. Consume finishes and pop. Dark Swarm up. Tank Sun Sieging, trying to get out of here, but taking some serious hits. I think Adrenal Glands is done. Honestly. Alright, so +2 infantry on the way from the Terran player. This Nidus Canal is of the utmost importance for the Zerg player. Allows him to get reinforcements over here, to get drones over here, to throw 2 Lurkers at the top of the ramp, and bring Defilers over for Dark Swarm. And again, without tanks, it is really hard to get bio up this ramp, especially if a Dark Swarm is on top of it. He's not putting these drones to work, though. Put the drones on top to work. Yeah. So there's your detection. But Irradiate's not done. So the Science Vessel can't actually kill these Lurkers at all. And Hiya pulling back. More Lurkers coming in just in case you need more at the top of the ramp. And it sure seems like he feels like he does need them. Guardians are ready to rock, which do pretty well against Marines in certain numbers. A ton of Marines will get in there and wreck them. But if you have a good number of Guardians against a fair number of Marines, the Marines will all die. Just you don't see Guardians a lot because they die to everything, man. They die to Irradiate, they die to Storm. They die to these Marines, they die to Wraiths. They die. Like, if these Guardians are still alive at the end of the game, I will be shocked. I will be shocked and appalled, I think is how that works. Consume, or that's a Plague rather. Plague finishing up from Beast. A really nice upgrade versus these nice juicy bio balls. Irradiate is done. What did he just irradiate? Must have been one of these Lurkers, I guess. No, I swear I just saw the Irradiate doodad there. Alright, well, coming on down. Lurkers trying to get burrowed in. There's your Dark Swarm, and that is the cue for the Marines to get on out. They don't want to engage. Secondary Dark Swarm comes up. Now it is safe to expand here. And Hiya doesn't have a third yet. He's going in the top left to try to do it, which makes a lot of sense. It's just late, man. I guess if your Zerg opponent's third base is late, you can take your third late too. Seems entirely fair, but it's pretty exposed. I mean, if some Lings ran, and they're running in that top left, trying to see what they can see. And what they're going to see is a command center under construction and really not much defending it except for these 2 tanks, which is a good amount of things defending it. It is a race to kill this SCV before the tanks can save it. Rather than this SCV, I'd maybe pause construction and hide somewhere, but no. Not happening. Big attack. Guardians! The Marines getting inside the Dark Swarm would be massive, because the Guardians wouldn't be able to kill them. Look at that smart play. Smart play. Getting inside the Dark Swarm. The Guardians are like, ah! Let's get on out of here. Scourge trying to get on top of those Science Vessels. 1 hit. Not enough, I would argue. third base is delayed for Hiya. The attack at the front is aborted. He's forced to retreat from this position too. Guardians doing some work. 8 kills, actually. Holy schmoly. 8 kills and 9 kills on these Guardians is not too little, I would argue. Adrenal Glands is now on the way. Okay, I wasn't sure those Lings had the attack upgrade or speed upgrade yet. They don't, and it is coming on up right now. Meanwhile, we're working on more Science Vessels. Again, an incredibly important unit in TVZ. If you don't have Science Vessels, you're probably going to lose to whatever the Zerg player is doing. Irradiating Lurkers, Irradiating Defilers, and Irradiating Ultralisks, and Broodlords, and Mutalisks. Irradiate, really good spell. Look at this. Irradiating the Defiler before it accomplished anything is forced to toss up a stupid Darkstorm it didn't even need. And Hiya just ignores it entirely. He is pushing. If he can take down this little bottom left corner, he's going to win this game, is what it comes down to. So he's got Marines with +2 attack and +1 armor. Irradiating the Defiler and irradiating all of these Lurkers. I think that's an irradiation on... Yep, all the Lurkers are irradiated. Oh, irradiation is how you win. It's really the difference between getting wrecked and just crushing Zerg noobs, is with Irradiate. It's how Flash does it. It's how Boxer does it. I guess Boxer did it. Is he still playing? I need to find maybe a current Boxer replay. That'd be a lot of fun for y'all, wouldn't it? You guys do love Boxer, and understandably so. What a fantastic, probably the greatest player of all time. Scourge! Goodbye, Scourge. We hardly knew thee. You're all dead now, except for these 3, I guess. They're trying. That is just so many Science Vessels. He doesn't even care. He just went right on into those. Doesn't even care. Nice plague on the Science Vessels, though. Catches all but 2. Oh, the Lurkers are still problematic. They're not dead yet, and until they're dead, they still hit with 100% of their energy and their force. It's 133 to 83 supply, though. 17 minutes in does not look good for Beast at all. He's got 44 drones to 44 SCVs. A single Mutalisk would be great against these Science Vessels. Notice they're staying near their Marine buddies, because if they're alone, Muta comes in, pop, pop, pop. Dead, dead, dead. Most of the Science Vessels are dead. It looks like he wants to set up and push into the natural base of Beast, which is, I don't know, somewhat sparsely defended. But that's what the Nidus Canal is for. That allows you to get reinforcements here fast. So, Guardians in the mix. Watch. Irradiating the Guardians. This is what I'm talking about. Irradiating the Guardians means the Guardians die. Nice Scourge hits, though, on some of those Science Vessels. See, Guardian's dead. One Irradiate, enough to kill a Guardian, and the one next to it, too. It's just, they're flimsy, man. I know they're flying tanks with incredible range. They're good that way, but by golly, so many things kill them. They are just squishy. Incredibly squishy Zerg units. Squishier than average, I would say. Zerglings are squishier. Hiders might be squishier, but man. Hard to think of many things that are much squishier than Guardians. Some more Irradiate coming on in. And the problem here is that Beast has never really been able to get up an army to threaten Hiya on the other side of the map. Nicely done there, plaguing one of the Science Vessels. All these are super almost dead, though. Does it really matter? We got Fire Bats in the mix. We got Marines outside of the Dark Swarm, forcing everybody to flee from the 4th base of Beast. Beast is in trouble. 132 to 91 total supply. Irradiates on all of the units here. And that hatch is toast. Some Lings and Lurkers are trying to save it, but they're too late. Whether they were enough at all, I guess we'll find out. The Lurkers burrowing in. Not bad. Backed in the corner and left to die by your masters is not a good place to be if you're Hiya's units. There's really nobody here to save them at all. Where do the Science Vessels go? They're back. God, there are still so many. Still so many. Still 6 of them cruising around here. Any more in production? Not that I can see. Chitinous plating on the way. Ultra is not a bad answer here, honestly, to all of these Marines and no tanks. This might be something of a comeback attempt out of Beast. If he can get Ultras out and crush these Marines, he might be able to make something happen. The problem is Irradiate, which does wound Ultras quite a bit, even though it doesn't kill them. Spore trying to get hit. Scourge do catch one of the Science Vessels, but only with 1 hit and not with 2. Oh, this push is really good. Lurkers burrowing up. Dying before they can actually fully burrow there. These Lings are ready to rock, though, with their 1-1. Marines at 3-2, though. The upgrades are definitely favoring Hiya at this moment. Our orange Terran player is kind of kicking butt and taking names. He's still up massively in total supply. He's down in worker count. The 4th base is still dead from Beast. He's trying to reestablish it. This group down south has really not been participating all that much, and I feel like they should be. But if we get any Ultras out, there's your chitinous plating. It's really hard for Marines to kill Ultras unless it's like a 10-to-1 scenario, which it very well could be. We might see that. Like an Ultra pops out and there's 10 Marines and they just go chomp, chomp, chomp. That's not what that sound they make. They go pew, 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 and then the Ultralisk dies. So we're 4 basing. I mean, at this point, Hiya's not really doing a great job taking advantage of the map control that he has, right? He's definitely not taking a 4th base here, which he could have done, I want to say, 5 minutes ago. Really not had a hard time with it. Because this is a 4 basing Zerg. If you're a 4 basing Terran versus a 4 basing Zerg, you're going to be okay. The Firebats are abysmal versus Ultras. Did he just... Oh, that's what we're talking about. Mutalisk versus these science vessels. Okay. All right. All right. This is what we're talking about. That is a way to get back in this game, is kill all the science vessels and make some Ultras. Attack down in the 4th base again. Scourge trying to see if there's a science vessel to worry about. There's not. Firebats in the mix. Their melee attack is completely able to ignore the Dark Swarm. 4th base goes down again. It's a 3 basing Zerg. Not good. I know he has a worker lead, but he's only on 3 bases at 21 minutes, which is just abysmal. Just abysmal. And yeah, I mean, there's no Defiler support here. There's no Ultras. He's going for Anabolic Synthesis, but no Ultralisks. He doesn't have the gas for it, is the problem. And I think that might be your GG. We're just looking at the bottom left, 3rd base down. And that's it. Taps out. Beast is done. And Hiya is your winner in 21 minutes and 28 seconds. Great science vessel play. Great upgrades on these Marines. 3-2 with 3rd armor on the way. Nope, not working on 3rd armor. That's okay. Again, I would have liked to see him take a 4th base here. Probably would have won the game earlier, just really keeping the Zerg player onto 3 bases for most of this game. The 4th base was up and spinning for maybe 3 minutes total today, it feels like. But yeah, expand over here. I guess he did expand up to the north. Never did anything with it. He could have had that, and he could have had this. So I guess he was just really worried about his micro, and won some really nice engagements here at the natural base. Again, the 4th base died, the 3rd base was in trouble, and there's just no way for the Zerg player to mount any kind of an attack today. The only attack that he had was the Mutalisk attack into the main, right? Into the main base, did some stuff. Some Lurkers came in here too, killed a few SCVs, but did not do enough damage to pay for themselves. And other than that, the Terran player was free to just macro up. He didn't really build many defenses. I guess he had some tanks on the high ground in the top left here, and some Marines permanently defending this front. And these guys that stationed here at the 6 o'clock position and never had to move. So that's not, it's not a bad deal, honestly. So, great job by Hiya getting the win here against Beast. And let's check out that final score. It's going to be 118,000 points, 113 in favor of the Terran. Unsurprising. Killed 258 to 171. Not a bad ratio there either. And resources. Zerg player mined more gas, but mined a little bit more minerals and spent not enough more to get the win there. I love the idea of Ultras. I really do. Against a Marine-heavy composition, especially if there are Firebats involved, you're going to have a good time with Ultras. He just didn't have the gas income to do it. Despite all this gas mine, he needed a 4-base economy. Spent a ton on those Guardians, spent a ton on Lurkers and Defilers, and just not left over for those Ultralisks, even though they had upgrades. And they would have been pretty terrifying indeed. But end of the day, Hiya gets the win with largely a bio-science vessel composition. Some tanks for defense, but really no tanks on offense other than the 2 we saw early. So, good job by him getting the win, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.